When people talk about Bruno Mars, they usually start with the hits, the Grammys, the stadium tours. But very few people know the strange truth hiding behind the spotlight. Long before the fame, before the awards, before the billions of streams, there was a kid performing nearly 1,000 shows before he even turned 10. A kid who later slept in cars, abandoned buildings, and sometimes didn't know where his next meal would come from. The question isn't how he became famous. The real question is how he survived the road that got him there. Bruno Mars was born Peter Jean Hernandez in Honolulu, Hawaii. Music wasn't a dream in his house, it was survival. His family performed in a small Waikiki show, and by the time he was 4 years old, Bruno was already part of the act. While most children were learning their ABCs, he was stepping onto stage lights twice a night, 5 nights a week, wearing a glitter jumpsuit and impersonating Elvis Presley so convincingly that audiences started calling him Little Elvis. At just 5 years old in 1990, he performed in front of 40,000 people at the Aloha Bowl halftime show. By 6, he appeared on the Arsenio Hall show. In 1992 he even had a small role in Honeymoon in Vegas, earning $600 for a single day of filming. It sounded glamorous. But childhood fame rarely tells the whole story. Everything changed when he was 12. His parents divorced. The family band ended. The money disappeared almost overnight. Suddenly the stage lights were gone and real life moved in. Bruno, his father, and his brother sometimes slept in a yellow Cadillac, sometimes on rooftops in Waikiki, and once even inside an abandoned bird zoo where peacocks screamed through the night. They showered in hotel pools and ate cheap convenience store food just to get by. But here's what makes his story different. Instead of quitting, he turned that struggle into fuel. At school he was teased for thrift store clothes, but at night he practiced guitar under the moonlight because there was no electricity at home. He earned $75 performing as Michael Jackson in local shows just to pay for demo recordings. At 18, in June 2003, he moved to Los Angeles with only $600, 3 demo CDs, and a dream that most people said would never work. Record labels tried to force him into a Latin pop mold like Ricky Martin. He refused. Instead, he adopted the stage name Bruno Mars, Bruno, from wrestler Bruno Sammartino, and Mars, because someone once joked he acted like he came from another planet. The early years in LA were brutal. Cheap motels. Shared apartments. Writing songs in parked cars with producer Philip Lawrence. Yet those struggles quietly built something powerful. Before releasing his own album, Bruno had already helped write hits like Right Round for Flo Rida and Nothin' on You for Bill B. Then in 2010 everything exploded. His album Doo-Wops and Hooligans turned songs like Just the Way You Are and Grenade into global anthems. By 25, he had already won a Grammy and become one of the biggest new stars in music. But here's the deeper lesson hiding behind the story. Success rarely arrives overnight. It's usually built quietly, in the dark moments when no one is watching. Sleeping in cars. Writing songs in parking lots. Refusing to become what the industry expects. And maybe that's why Bruno Mars still performs like a man who remembers exactly where he started. Because when you've already survived the worst chapters of life, the stage stops feeling like pressure. It feels like freedom.